If at first you don't succeed, try again. If still you don't succeed, slam your head against the wall until it breaks. That's how the saying goes, right? Well, Mercedes may well be en route to reach the latter half of this saying if it's the case, because the news coming out suggests that they may well be retreading ground in order to search for an advantage over Red Bull. In order to explore the cutting edge, however, they risk dulling their blade for yet another season, so today we're going to be exploring whether Mercedes' rumored approach to next season is inspired genius, combining what they've learned from the past mistakes with innovation being headed by James Allison yet again, or if it's desperation stemming from 2 seasons of back-to-back failure. We'll let you be the judge, but in a sport where moving forwards is everything, taking a step back is a bold move to say the least. Want to know what the future of Mercedes looks like? While we don't have a crystal ball, there is a lot that can be learned from recent interviews, and all of them seem to lead in one direction. Before we get into the nitty-gritty technical side of things, I think it's important we look at the motivations that are pushing the team forward in an attempt to compete with Red Bull. Let's start at the all-important center of operations. What's the mood like back at the factories? Well, according to Toto Wolff, they've got all the motivation they need, with the team boss having this to say. We have a gap to the leaders, but the 2 teams of Brixworth and Brackley are so motivated. We have so many good things in the pipeline, so many new things, and with all the learning we had, we are really in a good place to see what's coming together. We have got to take the momentum now from the P2 in the championship and take the momentum to the factories. This came following James Allison's comments that the 2024 car will set the tone moving onwards to 2025, and that the car will be built from the ground up, learning from but abandoning the aspects of last year's car. So all the new things that Toto is alluding to will be all-encompassing, taking more of a shotgun approach than the fine-tuned precision seen across Mercedes' time at the top of the sport. It's been revealed by Wolff that this will include a radical change to the car's weight distribution, aerodynamics and chassis, with further rumors that haven't been substantiated that the team are looking to move to a narrow gearbox design akin to Red Bull's approach. Though with that being said, the transmission in the Red Bull seemed to be the one thing that caused the team real issues, with Max constantly reporting issues with his up and down shifts, so what Mercedes could gain from this switch isn't all that clear. Toto also took the time to highlight how the motivation manifests physically for the engineers, with a pretty compelling trophy board that still has gaps to fill. We have a board in our factory which shows all the Constructors' Championships since 1958. The table goes until 2050, and you have the logos, the badges for each of the years. There are 27 open empty badges, and I would like to look back in 20 years and say, there's many more Mercedes stars. When you're retrospective, and I hate retrospective views, but when you look back in 10 or 20 years and we consider that big decade, it was second, first, third, second. When we look at it from that perspective, we kind of say, that was okay. Now from a micro view, there's one guy that won 19 races in 2023, so that is, of course, not good enough. Toto would also go on to make it clear that he doesn't want to wait until the new regulations for these gaps to be filled, as abandoning the project to focus on the new regulations would sacrifice 2 seasons of potential R&D and victories. Rather, he views the next couple of seasons as a trial of strength, a period which could prove a testament to the team's resolve, which links back to James Allison and his comments surrounding 2024 setting the tone moving forwards. As realistically, 2025 will serve as a 2024 Part 2, with every team switching all of their resources and focus into the new regulations, rather than looking to gain a few tenths throughout the season to claim a poisoned chalice that will damn the all-important first season of the new era of F1. So Merc are focusing on the here and now, rather than putting all their hopes on the regulation reset, which seems like a wise choice. As Toto said, I don't want to give up on the recovery and say, well, let's wait for 2026, new car, new engine. There is 2 more important years to go. I want to see it as a testament for the strengths of the team that we are capable to recover and race for championships. That's our clear objective. So does all of this mean that Mercedes have learned from their shortcomings? That they are going to play it safe? Keep it simple, nothing silly, right? Well, according to James Allison, the most scrutinized part of the 2022 car's innovation, the zero-pod design, wasn't the issue. Rather, it was something more fundamental about the car and his replacement turned predecessor's approach to the technical direction, with the Mercedes technical director having this to say. Well, I don't quite see the world the same way you guys do, looking at a side pod and deciding that's a concept. We definitely took a path with our car, and I would say that's from the tip of the nose to the very back of the tail, which was not a competitive one. The most visually noticeable aspect were our side pods, of course, but by no means the definitive factor. It was not right from front to back, and that's the thing we've had to learn to deal with. That's taken us longer than we would have liked, but the side pods are maybe emblematic of a team that took too long to figure out which way was up, but by no means the distinguishing feature that sealed our fate. So while Mercedes have opted for a complete overhaul of a car, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to just see a cookie-cutter replica of the other cars on the grid. It seems that they believe they have found something over the past couple of years that, while flawed at the time, could have been breadcrumbs leading to the perfect design principle to move forward with. We're not saying that Merc will turn up with a car quite as shocking as the stealth jet on wheels that was the W15, but it does seem that it will be in no way as run-of-the-mill as people may expect. Allison and Hamilton both condemned accusations that they were going to merely copy Red Bull into the new season, with Allison leaning further into the whole "I don't see the world like you do" line, saying that the concept of a car goes far beyond what the mere mortals of the media can comprehend, saying, "Concept is actually nothing to do with the car. It's your methodology for sorting out all the many things you might put on the car and finding only the ones that you really think are going to add lap time. It's a method. The car itself is just the output of that method. So when you talk to us about concepts, we're hearing like, what you think our wind tunnel weighing system wasn't right, and we've changed that. Or our way of measuring the CFD was wrong, and we've changed the concept of that. That's what concept means to us. And the car just pops out to the other side of that when we apply the process and that concept." Hamilton would further emphasize the need for an individual concept that results from looking within rather than taking on board too much influence from the outside, with him highlighting the shortcomings of taking your ideas from another team. He is of course talking about the heralds of the pink Mercedes and more recently the green bull, Aston Martin, with the British driver having this to say about the rivals who fell away last season. "Look at the Astons. They tried to copy a car and it wasn't the same. It's not as easy as that. You have to try and take the good parts and through trial and error just try and add other parts. But you can imagine they were also nervous and making too big a change and it being the wrong one. We need to be consistently week on week adding performance, and we have higher targets than ever before because we have a massive gap to catch. That makes it really tricky." Hamilton is certainly correct here. By taking someone else's core concept, you'll never reap the full extent of its benefits. It's like looking at an impressive house that you want to own and making up an exact copy of what you can see from the outside. It'll fall over due to the lack of foundations, and the extent that you will enjoy the house will be surface level, as the interior will be hollow. Any attempt of improvement will be guesswork, and you have no direction as to what will actually work. We look forward to seeing what Mercedes brings to the table at their car launch in February. Whether that is the real contender they will bring to Bahrain is another question entirely, as we all know that car launches are just glorified livery reveals and sponsor events. Hopefully they can be competitive from the bat, because love them or hate them, the championship is all the better for more teams competing for the top spot. Thank you for watching.